Thanks, Mike. Thanks, Mike. Appreciate that. So used to saying that. Thanks, Nick. That's got to get it with a show here.
There you go.
All right. Thanks for joining us, everybody. Today we're going over the Greater Phoenix Metro market statistics for the week ending October 14th. Across the board, we have 74 days closed on market this past week, a 4.66 month supply. Absorption rate is at 21.44%. The average list price is at $829,757 this past week. Average sale price this past week at $558,373, and our list price to sale price retention at 97.68. Taking a look at active inventory, up again 2% to 21,000 now. We were looking for that to get over 20, and now just in 2 weeks we've jumped over 21,000 units. Pending is sitting at 3,493, and closed units at 1,927. New listings this past week, we took 1,946. That brought our days on market for active inventory to 100.2, and for closed at 74. Looking at our lower left-hand side in our price range section, you'll notice once again, nothing is in red, meaning each of the categories have increased, but they increased, so why on the left-hand side when you see total inventory, percent of total inventory, are there red numbers? And that's just because the way in which they increased, other areas increased. Obviously, the $1 million and up market increased so much more during this particular past week that it skewed the numbers just a little bit. But under every single price section, every single price range right now is experiencing added inventory, which is great news for sellers, because sellers don't want to go in the marketplace if they can't find some place to go. And of course, for buyers, it's just inventory selection. So now, from a seller's perspective, we'll see the numbers today. So let's take a look. New listings, confidence is still pretty good. We need to still be over 2,000, but 1,946 is still better than last year at 1,806. 2 years ago, we were just at the 2,089 mark. So what we're seeing is there's still a very similar amount of people in the marketplace than there have been over the last 2 years. Looking at active inventory, we're up to 21,431. 654 of those are in that coming soon category, and that actually went down a little bit. 16,633 in the single-family detached, 3,021 new home construction properties, 21,295, or 99.4% of the entire MLS inventory is non-distressed. That means we're at about a 0.6% distressed rate. Looking at pending, this is how we gauge how many people are actually in the market right now, how many buyers are in the market. This is actually buyer and sellers coming to a meeting of the minds, opening escrow. 3,493 is the average this past week, 3,451 the week before. So we had a few more people in the market. Last year we had about 500 fewer people in the market, so that's a good sign. So when we're saying, yeah, we're not at 5,500, which is that rule of thumb number way over on the left, there still is a silver lining, meaning that there are more people in the market right now than there were, okay, get this, over the last 2 years. So that's something that, at least week over week, let's take the win where we can get it. Looking at closed inventory, we're at 1927 for the month, way too early, not even halfway through the month yet, but we're trending about 6% behind last year. So looking at month supply, we're at a 4.66 month supply. You probably saw, and I really kind of chuckled about this over the weekend, you probably saw that all of a sudden the Arizona newspapers are starting to say Arizona's in a balanced new home market. And that is what I've been trying to tell everybody for the last, months now, a few months now. It's just now sinking in. It's sinking in that you can't listen to national news right now because it is nowhere, well, it never has been, but it's nowhere near what's really going on here in the state of Arizona. So a 4.66 month supply, that's a pretty slow market. Last year we were at 3.49%, 2.36, which is real brisk, 2.3, not percent, but month supply. So a 4.66 month supply, I'm telling you, we are in really a kind of a buyer's market. It's really a neutral market. To the victor goes the spoils, meaning whoever does a better job negotiating. But at that particular point, we're seeing some pressure on listings. If you really want to be that seller who sells, you got to do something right now. And so let's see what that means. Looking at average sale prices and average list prices this past week, Nick, we had a person reply on our YouTube page to the monthly stats that we do, or maybe it was a weekly stat. But the point was, and so I thought it was a good enough point to share with everybody. If you've noticed over the last year, I've been using median sale prices. Now, I've always provided them to you, always. Since 1996, I've been providing them to you. But I've never really put them on the radar as much and talked about it as much. So just so that everybody's aware, when we talk about average list price or average sale price, we're looking at a week-over-week analysis. We're just saying since last week to this week, of those properties that were put on the market, what's the average list price right now? So that's 829. What does that mean? 829,000. What does that mean? That means that if you took the number of properties that were added to the marketplace, you divided them by the number of those properties, so you added all the amounts and you divided by the total, that's the average, right? Okay, well, median does something different. Median is more of a statistician's number, and so and week over week doesn't allow the median sale price to really reflect what's going on in the marketplace, which is why I don't usually talk about it. But month over month, I always talk about it, and I've even said it to you guys, median sale price is the number you should be looking for. Well, let's take a quick look at that. 450 is what we see right there this week. We're at 455 last week. So it did ebb $5,000 over the last week. And what is a median sale price? A median average list price or a median average sale price, median average, that's good, two terms at once. A median list price or a median sale price is really if you took a look at all of the properties. So you've got 11 properties in the marketplace for sale. Number 6 is called the median. It's right in the middle of all of the data, not the average. We're not adding everything up and dividing by the total. We're just saying if you take and you go to the very center of all of the data, what is the sale price there? So median sale price for sold properties is at $450,000 month to date. So that's really where we're at. Median list price, which is 2 up from that, we don't show there, but go all the way over to the blue. And if you look in the blue, those are month over month, and this is where I've always provided this data. So if you did the same thing, you took all the properties that were listed this past week, and you look at the median, that middle number, you're at 489,900. That's a big deal of difference from 829,757, which is the average. And that was the commenter's point when he made that comment. So I think it's he. Mm-hmm. So I replied today just to be able to put that out there, and this is really what I said in short. So median is an important number, but again, we'll continue to provide you with all the data. So whatever type of extraction you're looking for, you've got the data set. So here we are. Active days on market 100 for the month. Average days on market for sold at 74. 74 is a little bit above, way over on the left-hand side, that rule of thumb of 70. So in this particular situation, what I just want you to know is it's an okay. If you take 1,900 new listings, you take 3,500 people in the marketplace, you take a 4.66 month supply, you take the fact that we're averaging 74 days on market, and then you take into consideration that 97.8 is the norm, and we're at 97.68 right now. For all practical purposes this week over week, we are in an exceptionally balanced market, which we actually have been. And if you want to negotiate, go negotiate. Now is your time. If you're a buyer, go negotiate now. So that's the thing I'm focusing on. Everybody go out, represent a buyer. You got stuff to talk about. Appreciate everybody. Have a good day. Talk to you next week.
Awesome, Todd. Thank you. That does help with, or it leads into the listing conversation we have later on in the program. So